Alright, so this is going to be my review of Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Rift Part 1. Now, most of you guys will know that I have reviewed both The Promise and the... Well, I think I did a review on the Promise. I think I did. And I did a review on The Search, all 3 parts. And as you guys may know, it's kind of common knowledge that I haven't really been liking these. I haven't really been liking where these are going. And but I was giving The Rift a chance because I was really interested to see where that was going to go. But was I interested? Was this good? Oh my god, no! This was shit! This was fucking bullshit! Because seriously, it is a total retread of the first season episode, The Northern Air Temple. It is a complete and exact retread of that. And I'll get into why that is. But there is some interesting things in here. There's actually stuff I was like, oh, okay, this might be interesting. And I'll get onto those too. To be fair, this has got me a little more interested than the last 2. The Search really burned me. Out of all of them, The Search burned me the most. However, let me get into this. So this starts off with the city of Yundao basically creating a coalition of Earth Kingdom and Fire Nation council members to come together. And Aang and the Air Acolyte, yeah, he's got these Air Acolytes, and the gang is there, and they're all celebrating when Aang gets a visit from Avatar Yang Chen, which was the Airbender before the Airbending Avatar before him, and she gives him a message basically saying that, well, she can't really give a message. She's trying to talk, but he can't hear anything, and it sounds serious. And then he decides after the festival, where we find out that Toph, who has a metal bending academy, is running out of money, but which makes no goddamn sense because Toph's family, even though they've cut her off, she still has access to that money, doesn't she? So, relatively speaking, she should have a lot of money. I'm just pointing this out here, that Toph should have a lot of money under her belt. So the reason I don't fucking get why she doesn't have any money. Furthermore, Katara says, you know, why don't you boost tuition? And Toph says, no, we don't do that. This is supposed to be a cheap academy. And to which I call bullshit again, because I'm pretty sure if you're good, as the Joker said in The Dark Knight, if you're good at something, never do it for free. And, you know, take that with a grain of salt. I know it's in Toph's character to be kind and to be generous in her own kind of way, her own special kind of way, but the thing is that you need this money, and you gotta make money. Toph, you gotta make that green. Anyway, so Aang and the Air Acolytes, along with Toph, Sokka, and Katara, who, by the way, the Air Acolytes aren't really annoying. There's these 2 girls and this little kid. I just totally forgot about them. I was like, who the fuck are these guys? Oh, they're the first Air Acolytes. And, yeah, there's 2 teenage girls and 1 little boy. They're not annoying. In fact, they just don't do shit. They're not annoying. Like I said, they're not annoying. In fact, they actually point out some good things here and there. But they don't do jack. And I'm not talking like they don't do like they don't do anything that to help the story along. They just do nothing. That's it. Nothing. If you're gonna have characters in there, and I know Aang's trying to, these are the first Air Acolytes, and they play a big part in Legend of Korra, I get that, but have them fucking do something! Rather than just look around and just be like, oh, Master Aang, what's that? Master Aang, what's that? So, anyway, getting on with the story, Aang, worried about his message from Avatar Yang Chen, goes on to, and I'm going to spoil a lot in here, I'm sorry, this comic just pissed me off so bad. And I know this comic just recently came out, and I should have said this earlier, but yeah, there are spoilers. I'm so sorry. I should have said that first. So if you don't want to get spoiled from here on out, I suggest you leave. There's the back button. Goo. Anyway, getting back to this, oh boy. So Aang and the group are going out to to Avatar Yang Chen's temple, which we never got a name drop of. We didn't even know Yang Chen had a temple in the TV show, and Aang says, oh, it's very important that every 100 years the air nomads prayed to the temple. Really? Then why didn't you fucking do that in your free time, Aang? During, the 100... I know it was a war, but you got to ride around on fucking koi fish, and you stuck around a town, and you basically stuck around a town that hated you, so you could have, this could have not slipped your mind, and no one even questions, why didn't you do this when we were, in the Earth Kingdom? No one ever brings that up. I know it's part of the comic, but seriously. Fuck's sake, man. Fuck's sake. Anyway, now let me say again that there are some good things in this comic. First and foremost, this looks like we're going to get a Toph-centric comic, which I'm all for. Aang, we basically get that Toph doesn't want to bow to this statue, and she finds the whole thing pointless, but she's doing this out of her friendship for Aang. She's doing this because she cares about Aang's, this is important to Aang, but then she starts remembering that I had to bow to statues, I had to wear stupid dresses, I couldn't go out with friends, all because my father said it's the way things are done, so fuck this, I don't like any of this. Really? You do a total 160 after one little phrase that Aang says, that he just says it's always been done this way, and then her personality goes to total 180 and says, fuck everything about this. God bless America, oh, it gets better, people, it gets better. So Aang takes them to a special meadow where Avatar Yang... We also find out, I should have mentioned this earlier, that the reason why there's this celebration is because Avatar Yang Chen defeated a dark spirit in a battle. At least that's what I gathered. And it was at this special meadow where they did this airbending kite thing. And Aang takes them there, and this is where we get where I mentioned earlier that we get a total retread of the Northern Air Temple episode. Aang goes there, and there's this town run around with this refinery. This refinery gives everyone work there. And Aang, of course, is pissed off about everything, and Avatar Yang Chen is trying to tell him another message, and he goes further into it. And then we run into some dick guards who attack Aang, even though he says he's the Avatar, and he's like, oh, you're nothing but trespassers. And they attack, and Aang has some very cool, gives, of course, the lessons to his air nomads, which is interesting. But, yeah, this is the only action you're gonna get. Because here's the thing about these comics, especially in the part ones of all these stories. They're fucking boring! I'm serious, they are fucking boring! Because in all the first parts, I mean, yeah, they have action later on in parts 2 and 3. Doesn't help the story much, mind you. But the thing is about these first part comics, it is nothing but setup, it is nothing but talking, and a lot of the dialogue is shit. God damn it. Why am I putting up with this? Oh yeah, because there is good stuff in here. Especially the Toph stuff. The Toph stuff is really interesting. Because here's the thing. She calls total bullshit on Aang multiple times. When he gets pissed off about this refinery, he's like, oh, the refinery is just, destroying the land. It's supposed to be air temple, property. And Toph says, grow the fuck up. It's been 100 years. You didn't even come here. So, I like that, yeah, Toph's in character, and I love how, this superfluous stuff that she's calling bullshit. We also get a new character called Satoru, and I'm pretty sure that refinery is going to be Future Industries later on. I'm fucking convinced that's what's going to be. Because they always say, we look to the future, and I'm like, that's Future Industries. There you go. There's your Legend of Korra name drop there, people. Asami, you go, girl. Even though she's not in here. But Satoru, which I'm pretty sure I guarantee you in this comic, if I continue to read it, which may or may not have. I know I've said that before. It's like, I'm not going to read the next part. I read the next part. God damn it! Because the thing is that there's always, because I'm always hoping. This is where my optimism gets the better of me. Where I always think that the next thing that comes out is going to be better than the last one. That's what I said about Spirits. And it didn't get good until Beginnings and then on. The other time in Legend of Korra Spirits was fucking and even the ending was shit. Because I look back on it and I know I gave it a good review, but that was fucking terrible. And I'm sorry I'm yelling and stuff, and let's continue with the review. let's continue with the review. So Satoru may... Oh, let's talk about Satoru real quick. Satoru may be Lin's father because Toph finally has a love interest, a possible love interest. Two of these things might happen. One of these two things might happen. One, turns out Satoru's may turn out to be Lin's actual father, and you know, Toph and him may elope, or they may give a mention of it. I'm not saying like Toph's in this we're going to see Toph and this guy fuck. I'm not saying that at all. I should have worded that better. But we may see them, you know, start a romantic interest, is what I'm saying. Or two, this guy turns out to be a giant thundering cunt face. That made no sense, and it still gives a better explanation for this character, because literally he is exactly like the inventor in the he's exactly like what's his name? Oh God, the kid in the boy in the wheelchair. Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Oh, God damn it. I'm forgetting his name. But anyway, you know that character. I'm sorry, but yeah, he's a younger version of that character, and he's basically like, oh, my pretty machines, and my uncle's going to be so mad at me. Yeah. We also, by the way, get a picture. We also get a cameo of the Rough Rhinos, who are working private security for this place, which they do a bang-up job because they just let the Avatar and his friends go right in there. Also, I'm pretty sure we're not going to see any Zuko in here, because Zuko's still dealing with, oh, my mom's back, yay, and my sister Azula's missing in a spirit force from a very contrived story. Have you noticed I don't like these comics yet? Anyway. But like I said, the Toph stuff's really interesting. The Toph stuff's really good. That's the one saving grace I will say about this, because then we find out that there's something wrong with the river in this town, and Aang, of course, is letting his butthurt feelings be like, no, it's the refinery's fault, you guys need to leave. And the engineer, Satoru, is Satoru saying, no, the river's just weird like that, and Toph even defends him like, hey, he's telling the truth, and Aang is just like, oh no, it's not like that. And even then, when suddenly we get a giant earthquake happen, and Aang has the audacity to say it's Toph doing this. What? And again, Toph calls bullshit on him because she said, look, I'm not only your teacher, and I'm not only one of the best earthbenders around, I'm also the one who made metal bending, and I know how to control my powers. I am the go-to person to know how to control earth bending, so don't you dare pin this on me. This is one of the other big things big gripes I've had with the comics, is that they always take 9 steps backwards in characterization. Artwork's good, I'll give them that. That's another point. I've never brought up about the artwork in these comic books. I really do think the artwork is really good. I really do like it. Problem fucking being is I'd like the writing to be just as good. Ugh, Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, suddenly an earthquake happens. Toph and Aang, during it, save a bunch of people, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry too. And then suddenly we find out that Satoru's uncle and their partner, which when they talked about Satoru's uncle and his mysterious partner, I was like, that has got to be Toph's father, because they wouldn't be bringing up, because in flashbacks we see a lot of Toph's parents. So I was like, that's going to be Toph's father. And what do you know? It was Toph's dad, and it ends with Toph saying, you know, hello, father, and that's it. That's the end for part 1. Also, we get an image from Avatar Yang Chen that just gives that it could have already happened or is going to happen, of this giant spirit that looks like Igu from the Herculoids wrecking a city or something. Yeah, the thing looks like Igu from the Herculoids. I'm making a Herculoids reference, for God's sake. That's how bad this is! And I love the Herculoids too. Anyway, not a fan, guys. Am I going to read part 2? I know I keep saying I'm not going to read the next part. I'm not going to read the next part. I'm not going to read the next part. I'm probably going to read the next part. Only for the Toph stuff. The Toph stuff is what really got me interested in this comic book. Because, yeah, she's the only one in fucking character. Even Sokka and Katara do nothing but, you know, talk and, you know, support Aang no matter what. They even go against Toph in a lot of these comments. Like, they even say, like, oh, maybe Toph is doing this involuntarily. You know, these earthquakes. What? Yeah, so if I do decide to read any more of this, it'll be just for the Toph stuff. Other than that, fuck this book. Fuck this book, I'm serious. Oh god, I'm lucky I didn't pay for this. I read it in someone has it online, Korra Spirit, and one of their many channels called Avatar Comics has it on YouTube. So you can read it online for free on YouTube and just be like, oh, that wasn't that great. Or, you know, you like it. If you like it, if anyone out there likes this, I bear no ill will against you. Me personally, I'm not a fan. If you like Avatar the Rift or The Search or The Promise, that's totally fine. I bear no ill will against you. Me personally, this sucked, in my opinion. In my general opinion, this sucked. This fucking sucked. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and who knows, because the next part won't come out until July, and yeah. Anyway, guys, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'm out.